Hello ma'am, I'm Sharanya and my teammate name is Yash. We have developed a simple recipe website using non-stack development in which we have used Electron.js for our frontend, Node.js for our backend and MongoDB for our database creation. And this website is basically used to fetch the recipe and to delete and update the recipes. And also we can add the recipes. So this is our MongoDB structure where we have a database named recipe app in which we have two collections called categories and recipe. So this is our MongoDB structure. So now our challenge is to Dockerize this website. So for this, first we have installed a Docker version and also set up the Docker desktop and all the dependencies related to Docker. So we have created two files called Docker file and Docker composer.yml. So basically Docker file, this file contains the instructions to build a Docker image. It specifies the base image and installs the dependencies and also copies the files inside the container and to also to run the container. And Docker composer.yml, this file is used to define multi-container application which allows us to configure multiple services like app, database and manage their lifecycle.
Now this is our Docker file. Here the first command, node 18 alpine, it helps to build the image. It is an official Node.js image based on the Alpine Linux distribution. Then working directory. So it sets the working directory inside the container to app. Here you can name anything, but in our case it is app. And copy package star.json. It copies all the package files, package.json and package log.json into our Docker container. And then the next command is run npm install. Run npm install. This command runs the npm install inside the container to install all dependencies listed in the package.json. Copy dot dot. This copies everything from the current directory on the host machine to the working directory in the container. Copy .env. This copies the .env file from the local machine to the container. Here we have MongoDB URI in our .env file, and all other files, if any, will be copied to the container. Expose 3000. Expose 3000. Here it is a 3000 port. It tells the Docker that the application running inside the container will listen on port 3000. Next command is node app.js. This sets the default command to run the container when the container starts. Node app.js tells the Docker to execute app.js using node.js when the container is launched. Our next file is docker compose.yml. Here the version 3.8 tells you the version of the Docker, and we have two services. First is the app and next is the MongoDB. In app, here so image name is app latest, container name is app container new, and then the ports is 3001 and 3000. This maps the container port 3000 to port 3001 on your local host machine. It allows you to access the app visiting localhost 3001. This is the environment where MongoDB URI references to the MongoDB URI in the .env file. And then we have the second service known as MongoDB. Image name here is Mongo latest and the container name is MongoDB. Here this is the port number of the MongoDB URI which is earlier referenced here.
Now we follow some of the commands to Dockerize our files. So first we have to navigate to our working directory. So in our case it is recipe blog. Next we have to run the command called docker compose up build d. This command builds the image which are necessary before starting the services in a detached mode. So we have to run this, and we have already a container name which we have earlier discussed, that is app container new and MongoDB. So already they are running. Now to recheck whether they are in the Docker, we have to run a command called docker ps. Here we can see that names of the container will be displayed and the IDs of the container will be displayed, that is app container new and MongoDB. And next we have to run a command called docker logs app container. So this basically will tell in which port it is running. So we have already mentioned that 3000 which will listen to in which it will reflect to the 3001. So now in our local website I'm just gonna type our local host in which 3001. So we can see that here our website is there, so in which we have a home page and we have an option of fetching the results, and also we can submit our recipes. So we have the submit option, and also we can delete or update a recipe.
So here why we are using Docker is easy steps and consistent environments, simplified scaling, efficient resource management, isolation and security, quick and reliable deployment. So thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.